Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Is this Roxy Hudgens?
Oh my god, it totally is. How can you tell?
This is how girls talk.
Yeah, this is how girls talk. But you know what I want to talk about?
Uh-oh.
Have you seen the review locker?
Is this some boy you met?
Yes.
Is he handsome?
There's 4 boys, and they're so cute.
Okay, he's 4 boys, so if you're into that, I'm not judging you, Roxy.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just concerned for you.
no, don't
I just think,
stop.
hold on, babe. I just think you should not go walking around at night.
Hey, I'm Zach from the Review Locker.
Oh my god.
Is that the review locker? He sounds nice.
Oh my, are you kidding me? But
Is that the Review Locker?
are you doing the half cast?
No, I'm just an entity of the Halfcast.
An enemy.
And
I love
an
entities.
enemy. He's an anemone.
I hate animals.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
The day is Tuesday, August 13th?
It's Tuesday, August 13th.
Tuesday, August 13th, 2013. My name is Zach Morrissey of the Review Locker fame. I'm here with Austin Campbell.
I'm Austin Campbell.
Review Locker fame as well.
You may have not recognized me. I was totally not the other girl on the line.
Totally not.
I sound like this
all the time.
all the time. Alec Baldwin. Bill Arquette. Batman.
Lemon.
Mike got lemon. Yeah.
Lemon, don't you understand? I need you.
I need you, lemon. Yeah, I love that show.
Now you're stuck with me in hell. Rorschach's Diary.
Rorschach's Diary. Or like Alec Baldwin, he's like, I need to look out the window with my scotch.
Why don't you just have like gruffled voices just doing things? Like that's just a sketch. It's like Alec Baldwin finding a light bulb. Oh, I'm looking for a light bulb. Alec Baldwin fighting Spider-Man. Oh, I'm gonna fight Spider-Man.
That's just the whole skit is them living with their own voice.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
I think we can workshop.
Reminds me of that scene in 30 Rock that like when Will Arnett's character and him are facing off in Alec Baldwin's office and they're both talking like this.
Yeah, that was
Back
hilarious.
and forth.
Was that Will
great.
Arnett?
Yeah, that was Will
Very
Arnett.
charmingly done.
Very
Yeah.
Will Arnett.
I felt very bad that he got with the other lady.
Who?
You know how there was the old MILF that Alec Baldwin was going after.
Which one?
It
Oh,
was-
Julianne Moore.
Yeah, it was a real shame that like they were banging and Alec Baldwin was clearly hurt by that. Except I don't know, like I think it'd be funny if Liz and Alec got together, but yeah, you guys are totally
No,
against
it's
it.
no. It like
Oh,
they're
come on.
they're dynamic. It's platonic, so that if it was the slightest hint of romantic thing, it's always like it's really funny because they're gonna be disgusted by it because they're so platonic it hurts.
I think it'd be funny for the laughs.
They did do well. Yeah, I mean they kissed one time.
Yeah, but they haven't gone farther than that. So
Yeah, and it was hilarious.
I don't know. Let's get back to light bulbs. Right?
Light bulbs.
Let me tell you a thing about light bulbs.
Oh, LEDs lead me. Lead pencils.
No, actually, interesting facts. So apparently,
Trivia.
You don't have LEDs in your kitchen. On average, you're going to be using about 750 kilowatts. You have LEDs, suddenly you're at 250 kilowatts.
Is that a lot?
That's a huge difference. That's like the difference between paying like maybe like 1,000 something on your power bill every year to 600.
They do last forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the street lights.
Yeah, you could basically get different colors
They're
too.
kind of expensive though.
They're very expensive. If you want to get wireless, you can get wireless LED lights. You can just stick them up in your room, and you can like control them with your cell phone.
Oh, they're gonna say just stick them up in your asshole.
Well, I mean, will it glow?
Stick them up your bum. You have
Oh,
a
yeah.
glowy bum.
You want to stick it on my bun?
Can we do?
My bun?
I trust you enough to do
Is this
that.
a video? We're gonna stick light bulbs up our ass and see what happens.
Why not?
Fuck it.
Fuck
I
it.
say fuck. Why not?
Why not? This is a
Just
review
think
locker.
about it.
Anything goes.
You
Girls
screw
like
it
us.
in, It goes boom. It's like
Why does it make a goop sound at the end?
I just felt the goop.
You felt the okay.
Arpeggio.
Arpeggio, yeah. Bo Burnham's joke.
Yeah.
You say arpeggio, any girls fall in love with you.
If you ever want to just seem smarticle, all you gotta say is just, what is life? Why are we here? What is even your purpose? Arpeggio.
You gotta throw out arpeggios in mid sentence.
What's another fancy
I think he's
word
coming
you
out with
could
a new
throw in?
album, actually.
I think he is, yeah.
Or maybe he already came out with one. I like Bo Burnham.
He's charming, but sometimes that whole like, oh, haha, I'm so naughty. I don't like things, but I like them if I like them, but I don't like them. He feels a little selfish and angsty.
Well, I mean, his act is funny. I actually after I listened, I really liked him, and I love he's really witty and great, especially for his age. He was the youngest person to have his own Comedy Central special.
That's
like
cool.
19. But
19 years old.
yeah.
Could you imagine?
And
Jesus
but then I got
Christ.
really into Louis C.K. and going back to him, it's a totally different game.
Totally different feel.
And I didn't appreciate Bo Burnham as much because he sounded extra young in comparison to Louis C.K. the midlife
Louis C.K.
crisis.
always makes fun of our age group, though. He's
Of
always
what?
he always makes fun of our age group.
Yeah.
40-year-olds are these amazing people with their experience.
He always uses this voice.
Yeah, he's great.
But think about this. Isn't it weird? You're watching a TV show, TV series, and you just look at just media, culture, life in just a different way when you're on a certain beat. When I'm watching Louis, I'm thinking kind of dark comedy. I'm finding this is hilarious that all this shit happened today, and I'm laughing at stuff like that, but then I'm watching I don't know, Parks and Rec or something, and everything's just kind of in a bubble and very warm.
Very happy.
Is it bad to let TV shows dictate how I see the world?
Well, it's kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, Parks and Rec, that tells you if you have a good group of friends, then at some point everybody's going to be able to give you a heartfelt talk. Everybody in that show gives another person
It's so
a heartfelt
delightful.
talk.
It's great though.
I mean, it's really uppity up and it's really nice, but depending on the mood I'm in, that's why
sometimes you want the abuse, you want the dark.
Well, when you put it like that, it's sometimes you want I gotta have it.
You want to get some. I know a guy.
Hit me.
Just call him up.
Zach, hit me. Hit me in the face right now. It's always sunny. It's always sunny, that one chick.
Dennis's ex-wife or
With a dead
soon-to-be
tooth.
With the dead tooth. How does a tooth smell? Is that a thing? Can you have a tooth that is a dead?
It was a dead tooth.
Do you
It's
kill
smelly,
it? You
but
stab
they exaggerated it.
I just see stabbing a tooth. Ah! And an explosion happens, and now it's.
Rotting.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
rotting.
shit.
That's
Why
why
don't
it
you pull that
smells.
shit out? Just get on that shit. Jesus.
That's your
She's
thing.
not pouring any more. She stored Dennis's money.
Yeah, Dennis is paying alimony still.
It's great.
I still haven't seen season 8. I watched an episode of season 8 at a pizza joint one time.
If you're actually listening to this, what we're talking about is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's always sunny in
You
Philadelphia.
like that transition? I've been watching a TV show, actually.
What? Oh, which one?
Better Off Dead, Netflix.
I heard of that. It was short lived, right?
Really sad. So I read up on it on how it was canceled. Basically, came out on NBC in 2001?
Whoa,
Really?
it
2011.
was not 2000.
No, like 9.
2010.
Really?
Sometime in the 2000s, so it's had to be in the past 13 years. And
Thanks for that specificity.
basically, the whole idea is that Veridian is this terrible corporation, and they do all the bad things that a lot of bad corporations do. And there's a lot of little hints and nods against, Ted, Better Off Ted. Ted, he's supposed to always be the moral guy in this immoral company, and that's where kind of the irony comes from it. They always make fun of stuff. So they do these introduction videos. Veridian dynamics. Friends are important. We are your friends.
Oh, okay.
And then the episode's gonna be about friendships or something like that. And they're gonna just talk. The Ted does this break the fourth wall. Sometimes I really think friends are important. I look and it's just this real
Very
self-awareness.
straightforward.
But it's on NBC, right? So it's really weird to see this very meta humor that kind of lasts throughout the series. That's satirical.
Well, it's that's exactly what 30 Rock is. 30 Rock
Pretty much.
it's satire. It's a lot of meta humor.
Oh yeah,
They throw in a lot of serial humor. Yeah, irony. But mostly they do. It's just a lot of satire. But shows like that, they're just having fun with it,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
just happen to be dipping everything in gold.
Yeah, except I guess the show like started off with like 6 million viewers, which is I guess is really low for like primetime television.
Not anymore because they like Netflix. They
Yeah.
have to lower their standards.
Is that crazy?
Yeah,
I really wish Better Off Dead would have a resurgence.
You know, Parks and Rec had 3.3 million this past season.
Really?
And they just barely got renewed.
Oh,
but it's funny how
wow.
like you can still get renewed with that though.
Yeah, shit, that's crazy.
30 Rock got
So-
canceled with like 2 point something.
Yeah. Well, Better Off Dead was at the last 2 episodes weren't even aired because the NBA finals were on and they went an extra game. Didn't even air them. Yeah.
That's sad.
It is, but they're great to watch on Netflix. It ends very abruptly because you could definitely tell that they didn't know they were getting canceled, and it really sucks because
Like a
that
cliffhanger?
second season. No,
Okay.
just the second, each episode's pretty contained, but the second season was really starting to build some steam up. Like they were just really on their game, and it was just so disheartening not to see a 3rd or 4th season.
Yeah, I'm sure like so many people were so disappointed because Young Justice was canceled, and
Really?
I didn't. After 2 seasons, like I only saw a couple episodes. It's like highly praised. Like I've read a lot of places that it was just saying it's like the best cartoon like action scenes out there, and I didn't even realize it. I only watched a couple episodes, so I didn't really know what one of the kind of concepts of that show was that each season is like it's like a couple years later.
Okay.
So the first season you have Robin and their basic team, and then the next season he's already Nightwing. They already got some new people, and the next season would have been something else. But I guess they ended on a cliffhanger, and I guess and I guess they got like a lot of like it was kind of like Justice League, and it was like mature for a cartoons show, but I guess it got a little darker.
I have a question for you. So a lot of the times, like these stupid cliffhangers do happen. I remember I used to watch Kyle XY. I know. But it totally ended on a cliffhanger, and I was like, okay,
Was it like 3 seasons?
about 3 seasons, yeah. But so I don't think a movie or a TV series needs a cliffhanger in order to keep people coming back. Do you think that the philosophy on making a TV show should be that each episode is kind of contained in itself, or each season is contained in itself?
Yes.
Because
That's a new thing that's
important.
becoming more popular.
Especially with Netflix, because you never know.
With
when it comes
Netflix though,
back.
but I'm saying there's a new show coming out with I forgot. It's like 2 movie stars, and they're doing a new HBO show, and it's gonna do what American Horror Story I think has kind of made it more I mean, sure, American Horror Story wasn't the first to do it, but it's made it popular, at least I guess. And so American Horror Story is just every season's just one big contained story, and it's a totally different thing the next season. So there's a new show coming out on HBO. It's like a detective show, and I guess it's like
another detective show.
Yeah.
Detective shows on CBS. It's like, oh yeah, it's a great detective show. She's a blind woman who can read minds and has a kitten.
No.
She has a kitten.
The format is always they need like a really weird last name, like Castle, and then they just have abilities and stuff.
And then procedural cop drama. And then it's like, oh man, there's a sheriff who kind of likes you, but is too rugged with you and won't let you get away with that one more time.
30 Rock had an episode where they just made fun of that. Like Jenna was like, yeah, when I was starting a pilot for this detective show.
I remember
it was
that.
like Mary good looking.
Yeah.
And her ability was she was good at looking everywhere. The show's called Good Looking.
Kind of reminds me of
I bumped the table.
break this whole fucking place up. Now you need to calm down, sir. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Pulp Fiction. And the
Yeah.
every week you have a little joke.
No, I haven't seen Sherlock, but that format sounds really, really cool.
That sounds fun.
3 episodes a season, each an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That sounds really
It sounds great. It sounds like a mini series in a series.
Yeah, it's like a mini series, and like I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know if they end on cliffhangers. I believe they don't, but it sounds like just a great one. It's like they can stop, and people I'm sure would be satisfied. They can keep going, and people will just be satisfied.
Which I think with Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, HBO, etc., I think we are really starting to kind of breach a market where the fundamental ways we look at television as content consuming is going to be changing. I think we're going to get miniseries that make up a series more so. Especially having House of Cards released all at once on Netflix, how encouraged binge watching is right now.
Yeah.
It felt really strange that House of Cards did have episode setups like they did, because there were some cliffhangers in there, which was like, what's the point?
And
Like,
you can answer the next episode.
yeah, well, what's the point?
Like
why do I need
Arrested
to go to the
Development, it
next
really
episode?
benefited Arrested Development season 4 because it was really dense. It was especially dense like season, and really intricate like the storylines. It was really hard to follow. And that's one of its faults. But
Yeah.
it made it like so that the binge watching was kind of necessary. So that was kind of cool.
That was fun.
Yeah.
The more I reflect on the season 4 of Arrested Development, the more I just feel like George Michael Sr. and let's see who else.
It's just George Senior, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
George
George
Michael
Sr.,
and then George Sr.
Lindsay.
and Lindsay. Yeah, just total.
And Buster was good for when he was there, but
he was great, but he
absent
wasn't
so much.
alive. I mean, I thought Tobias's were a little weak too.
Yeah, yeah, he was, and we're just thinking about how Michael wasn't even the straight man this season, which would have been nice, but you can tell it was rushed because it was like filming schedules. Yeah, you know what show?
They're doing another one, right?
Yeah, they're doing another season.
So
It's
do you
confirmed.
think they're gonna be better this night? Because some of them
Well,
just felt
they'll
like
be together now.
that'd be nice.
Like, yeah, I mean, and one person made a good point I read in someone's review was, it's actually really good that they had the constraints that they did, like the 20-minute thing, because that just made it, they had a
More
constraint,
dense.
and it was really concise, and just like, I don't know, fit. And this season, they just, some episodes will go longer than others, and that wasn't always cool. Especially because the longest episode was one of the weakest ones.
Which one was that?
Lindsay's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what was supposed to be a TV show?
Lindsay did a good job near the end. What was supposed to be TV?
Ted,
Yeah.
by the Seth MacFarlane's directorial debut. That was originally supposed to be a TV show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which probably wouldn't have turned out.
I don't think it. Yeah.
I mean, he could have done it, but I wouldn't have watched it. I don't know. The only thing I care about is like he's done is like Family Guy. Although I heard American Dad's great, but Ted was okay. Like it was. I'm sure if for those of you who haven't seen Ted, it's about
Review up on the site.
a review soon about Ted. It's about a boy named John Bennett. When he was 8 years old, he was very lonely. his parents.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, you lonely?
No, it did not turn out like that. No, it was more like he went outside because it's Christmas and he sees the kids beating up the Jew on the street. And he's like, "Hey, can I play?" And all the kids saying, "Yeah, go back in your house, Bennett. Yeah, go back in your house." And then even the Jew getting beat up. "Yeah, go back in your house." Yeah, So Patrick Stewart actually is the narrator.
Okay, that sounds
Anyway,
funny.
so his parents get him a teddy bear. And one night he wishes it could be real. And there's nothing more powerful than a child's wish. And it becomes real. And everyone freaks out and he becomes a celebrity. And then it says, the narration's like, and like all celebrities who have a big moment of fame, after a while, nobody gives a shit. 27 years later. And it's just them. They're still best friends. They're just smoking pot. Drinking all the time.
Smoke pot.
He just does. He even has sex. It's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, and Mila Kunis is John's girlfriend of like 4 years.
I like her. She's real charming.
Yeah.
She wasn't good in this.
She's okay. She's okay.
Having some bad movies.
Everyone was like okay. I mean, it was nice though. Mark Wahlberg, I like him in comedies. Him and the other guys was really nice.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just because he had good chemistry with Will Ferrell.
He was great
But
in Departed.
he's just funny in comedies.
He did an AMA. He seemed like a really nice guy.
On Reddit.
Yeah. And it wasn't like the Morgan Freeman AMA where it seemed like
Morgan
it was a
Freeman did
publicist.
an AMA on Reddit.
He just don't.
Yikes.
It was like a publicist, and everyone decided we hate Morgan Freeman now. It was
That
just
was
because
stupid.
it was the stupidest thing.
I feel like everyone hates Gwyneth Paltrow now.
Well, everyone's really down on Obama
Recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
Anyway,
Obama.
yeah. So Mark Wahlberg, he's funny. It's Mark Wahlberg. His character is he's like a car rental salesman, and he's about to get a promotion. It's not like the highest paying job. His girlfriend, played by Mila Kunis, is the one like a big corporation. She's the business one.
She's the bread maker.
Winner, breadwinner.
Whoops.
Yeah, and so basically him hanging out with Ted, keeps him immature. So like, she wants him to kick out Ted so that he can, be more of a man, grow up, and yeah, there's that tension. It's really funny. The thing is like, it's really inconsistent. Like there's parts that are just really like, wow, this is hilarious, and then it's followed by something that's like, okay, this is just serving the story. I'm not laughing at all, really. Like, yeah, I mean, I like Seth MacFarlane's great. Like, I think what he does for comedy kind of goes understated. Like with Family Guy, he makes an active he's actively like trying to push comedic boundaries in the mainstream. Like he makes certain jokes go on longer than it should, and he actually calls himself out on a lot of jokes within the jokes. He does a lot of meta humor, and I think it's great. And with this movie, his humor it just feels really safe.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty funny. Like it's a 3-star movie. The effects on Ted are great.
Really?
I believe every second that's a teddy bear.
Wow.
And he's smoking pot. And he dates a trashy girl named Tammy Lynn, and he has sex with her. I believe all that. There's a part when he's getting a job. He's getting an interview for a job. He's like in a little suit. And he goes, and Ted doesn't want to work. He just wants to go and stay with John and just smoke and stuff. And so he goes to the interview, trying to sabotage it. He's like, so it's like, what makes you think you're qualified for the job? Because I don't know, maybe it's because I just ate out your wife's vagina last night. He's just like the most trashiest thing you can think of, the worst stuff. Can you smell your wife's vagina on my breath? He just says like a horrible thing, and then the manager's like, "You got guts. You're hired." It happens again later. He's like, "You got a lot of problems." It's terrible. Yeah, and I mean,
in a comedy world that makes sense, but in real life
it's
never.
It's a teddy bear. Yeah, and yeah, it's an okay comedy. Like it came out 2012, but I think the best comedy 2012 was 21 Jump Street. Like
Yeah.
easy.
It's pretty easy.
But yeah, that's a 3 out of 5 star movie.
Well, speaking of movies that aren't really funny, or trying to be funny, Upstream Color.
Good segue.
Thanks, bro.
Upstream Color, that came out this year.
Alright, so Upstream Color, what's his name? Shane.
It's Shane like Curro or something.
This is bad. We don't have a computer to check.
He came out, Shane, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
But he made a movie in 2011 or 10 called Primer. It's like
That's
an
on
hour
Netflix.
and 17. It's on Netflix right now. I heard it's a really, really abrasive, like, mind fuck. It's like, it has to do with time travel, but, low budget. It got some, decent reviews.
Indie cred.
And now he's come out with Upstream Color this year. And it's been, like 89% Rotten Tomatoes. It's being called one of the most original movies of the year. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's really experimental. It's really different. And I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good watch.
How do you describe this plot?
Okay.
I mean, I think I know how.
All right, go for it. Yeah.
I don't know the girl's name, but basically,
Chris.
we get to a girl named Chris, and some guy who was messing around with like these caterpillars off in this
They
plant.
kind of look like worm caterpillars.
Oh no, they're worms. They're like
worms?
earthworms or caterpillars.
Yeah.
But he like put some chemical on them, and then he just like he goes at this girl and like gives her one, and she's like out, and we see
It
her.
was real sudden.
Yeah, basically
he attacks her.
really
yeah.
sudden.
Yeah.
It's like in the rain too, but basically like she becomes like hypnotized, and
No.
Well, she's abducted.
Well, no, okay. He injects her with the worm that gives her cancer, and in the weakened state, he hypnotizes her.
Yeah, and yeah, she's like kind of abducted. Well, not really so abducted because it's within her own house.
In her own house.
But like
That's why it
they're
makes it even
doing
creepier.
experiments on her and stuff, like making her like do a lot of this weird thing. She's like reduced to this like childlike state, and then it's kind of has like an animalistic part.
It almost didn't feel like experiments. It almost felt like they were putting her in that childlike state through the experiments, like they were hypnotizing
Like that
her
was a
through
side effect?
remedial things, like making her do remedial things to become a child.
And that's
so that
what
they
it
could
was.
control her.
That makes sense.
Because it seemed like for
Well,
them, it was all about the money.
And she became a little bit more like animalistic.
Yeah.
But
She freaking stabbed herself.
yeah, and then at some point she wakes up out of it, doesn't remember, and that's like the main.
No, look, I think so what happened is the guy who abducts her makes her take deposits out of her savings, like on a it's not clear, but weekly or a monthly basis. So he basically drains all of her
I
funds.
just realized something.
What?
A revelation. We'll get to it
All right,
later
we'll get
with
to it.
another guy. Wow.
So yeah, they drain. Oh shit!
Yeah, right.
Fuck,
Okay.
fuck.
So this movie requires multiple viewings.
Or you can just pause it and rewind and put subtitles on something.
Yeah, we kind of would pause it and rewind, and we just had a revelation about some part.
Fuck. Okay, we'll think about that in a sec. But let's keep this up.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. Okay. So pulling out things, pulling out money. So basically, they clear her entire bank account. Once her bank account's cleared, they leave her. They stop the hypnotism, and then she finds herself with worms all inside of her.
She had like
really just one
she
scene
just had the
there.
wounds, and she just didn't remember things. She got heat at her job. She didn't remember what happened.
No, because remember, she woke up and there were worms in her body, and she stabbed herself.
No,
first.
but she was still going crazy. Like, she was still like under this, the hypnotism.
That didn't happen until the composer took her out. Took out the worms. So
I don't remember. No, but she was still under it, because she wasn't herself.
that's true.
Like when she
But
did
she
it.
was herself when she was looking for the money.
When was she looking? Oh,
Remember when she went to the bank and she's like, "There's no way."
she wasn't exactly herself though. I think that was like the earlier stages before she became really reduced to a childlike state.
Okay. We disagree. Let's just move on.
Tension.
So let's get the symbol set up. She meets this guy. This guy,
His name, I forgot his name.
He's a director. He's the Shane.
Yeah,
guy.
he's the director, writer, composer, producer,
editor.
He did the music.
He's it. Yeah.
He is the talent.
So she meets this guy. This guy likes her. They have this weird connection, and you can kind of see that there's both a little something off about the two of them. The other symbol that you need to introduce here is there is the composer. There is this guy who owns a pig farm and makes music using obscure or using field recordings.
Field recordings. He would make it turn into ambient music.
Yeah.
It would always throughout the movie it would flip back to him, and especially towards the end, it's just half of the movie, just almost half the movie is paralleling. That's not a verb. It's like a parallel though. What he's doing there is a parallel to what's going on to this couple, because they become a couple.
Yeah.
This movie, by the way, is not a spoiler fit, because this is a really abrasive movie.
Yeah.
And it helps to know what's going to happen anyway.
But so these are just kind of our interpretations of it, and I mean that's kind of the fun with these movies, is to see what you got out of it. But that's the setup. You have this guy who's taking an omniscient kind of godlike position.
I interpreted him as a godlike guy.
Maybe Satan. Maybe the exact opposite. Maybe a Satan-like figure.
It's this is there's as with a lot of movies like this, there's a lot of ambiguity, and this would just be a great discussion one with a bunch of people.
What's
as
that
long
like?
as long as they all like movies and like looking at deep movies, then it'd be great. Just big discussion.
I wouldn't watch this alone. Your first time. I think it really helps to have someone there that you can kind of pause at certain moments and be like, wait, what the fuck? Wait.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And we flipped back a couple times with we couldn't hear. I guess that's sometimes it can be harder to hear because they just kind of slur some words.
Well, and sometimes the music gets really overpowering.
Yeah, the good is
I
great
think that's the
music.
effect, though. I think that's what they wanted.
I think though the main thing that just right off the bat this movie, the main thing you notice is the editing. The editing, it's when it starts, it feels like it's a promo to a commercial or something, because there's no shot that's more than 5 seconds.
No.
I mean, later there's a couple that might go to 6 or 7, but they're all really quick shots, and you just it puts you on edge.
Yeah.
It gives you this energy. it's just constantly moving. It's a lot of really clever and interesting cutting, and like the way it's edited just sets it on a rhythm that you just don't see in other movies.
It made me feel like I was her. I was Chris in the moment, because when you think about in your day-to-day life, there aren't that many moments where you are looking at the same frame for more than 5 seconds unless you choose so. But in just your everyday and day life, you know, you're looking down, grabbing the coffee, looking over, you know, washing the hands.
I think it was like it was the editing. It was like it was used for a few things. I didn't really feel like I was from her perspective. Although at times I felt like I was from her perspective was when it was really big close-ups, the really sensitive filmmaking with the really just the shots of the neck up. But like there's a moment where it shows this random couple that it's harder to I still don't really understand what they mean, but there's a point when you get to see this like married couple that are struggling, and it's flipping, you know, back in the past, future, present, past, future, present, oftentimes repeating stuff, and just digging into this person's psychology, you know. And so like this is really ingenious editing that even though it wasn't doing the same kind of like you know, effect every time, like it wasn't just only for psychology, it was like just for it was used for a lot of different things. This kind of editing could be used to an advantage to like digging into a character's psychology. Like I feel like this kind of editing just sets a whole rhythm that I feel like this is just a new kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just a new experience for a movie.
Which is super cool, you know, to see coming out of an indie
Super
bracket.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's experimental and it's happening in our time, which is really nice.
That's cool.
Like, you know, movies that we'll understand the best are the ones that are coming out in our time. It's hard to go back to like an Ingmar Bergman, you know, it's like 50 years ago, and it's experimental. Yikes.
Yeah.
But, you know, we have a bit of an advantage with this. And so, but, you know, that's not saying it. This is like really clear cut because this is still a abrasive movie.
Yeah, I'm trying. There's just it lacks a lot of refinement, and I don't know if the only way this can be unique, if it is kind of, you know, off cuff, very very like an honest piece of art from the director, or if through the refinement can you refine this type of art to make it accessible to like a more mainstream crowd. Or is this so unique to just kind of this indie circuit that you can only get this effect through that?
It's hard. I mean,
do you need to change the viewer or do you need to change the movie is the question.
It's, you know, if a movie like this won an Oscar, that's a step, you know.
Yeah.
That's a big step right there.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause I mean, you think about Apocalypse Now, and I don't think from the parts that I've heard about that movie, the parts that I've seen about that movie, I don't think that would have as much mainstream adoption as it has, you know, as like, oh, you wanted to see a good movie, watch that movie.
Apocalypse Now, though, I mean, that came out in the 70s, and 70s was like a golden age for movies. It was nominated for Best Picture. It wasn't too different. It didn't win, though. But
yeah, but I mean, it was...
Like Raging Bull didn't win. It lost to a more conventional movie.
But just thinking that a movie like that could be nominated at that time, I think is crazy.
Yeah, if I lived in the 70s, that'd be, you know, you got classic after classic after classic. You got The Godfather one year, then like Francis Ford Coppola, that guy.
Yeah.
Godfather, The Conversation, Godfather Part 2, Apocalypse Now.
There's one more with what's his name?
He did direct Jack with Robin Williams.
I thought Jack was delightful.
This is like weird to see that compliment.
That is a weird drop. Maybe he's just getting too heavy. He's like, I can't do this shit no more. I just want a fucking family ass film. All right.
It was a sad movie. I cried in Jack.
Yeah.
Jack was sad.
He was having such a good time, and then he just kept growing up.
Yeah.
You really hold on to your youth. So the way that I saw Upstream Color, don't really know why it's called Upstream Color yet.
Well,
at first I was thinking
there's
like
a part later we see upstream, and I guess the color would refer to the flowers, because you know we saw those hikers hike upstream.
Yeah, that's true.
So
the way
really, it does require multiple viewings, I think, to just really.
Think so.
I
I don't know.
I had fun watching this first time. That was kind of nice.
I had fun.
I
It was
don't
very
know.
calming. It kind of reminded me of an atmosphere of Drive S,
Yeah.
where I just felt very calmed out and just really accepting
Calmed
of the
out?
new things. Yes, calmed out.
Calm down.
Calmed out. Buying
Yeah.
one your local
It reminded me
drugstore.
of Spring Breakers. Spring Breakers was like always putting you on edge with its cutting. It would show hints to the future back and then go to the future. It was
The way I saw Upstream that color. So, here we go. The pigs, I thought that those were symbolic to what this agent, this fate agent, whoever he may be, this
the
omniscient
composer. That's what I
demon,
call
the
him.
composer. I think it's a beautiful way to call him. I think whatever he was doing actively to the people's lives was actually happening to them, but what we as the audience saw were what he was doing to the pigs.
Mm. Yeah, at times I saw like the pigs being just the whole like metaphor for like what's going on in real life, like that, because they're all the pigs and he's like God. But it was harder to see that when like she had the tube connecting the pig to her.
Yeah, no, like I think
And at the
that
end,
was, yeah.
But I started to get a little bit of an existential vibe towards the end because when they kind of if that guy's like a god, they confront him.
But is he a god or is he Satan? You know,
If he's a god, they kind of confront him, and they kind of just take over their own destiny, and they go at the end and find their pig, and
what if he's an angel?
get to lead their pig.
Whether it may
I wanna
be
lead my
fallen,
pig.
Because remember he was talking with other people, maybe. But
Well, the composer, he never talked to anybody.
yeah, he did.
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
Remember the chubbier guy that came over and he said,
Yeah.
"You gotta buy the mini piglets." Maybe he's an
Wait,
angel.
what
Maybe
did he
they're
say
all
again?
fallen angels.
What did that guy say
Remember
again?
he wanted to sell the mini piglets, and the guy was like, "I don't want to sell my pigs." Or the pigs' souls. Remember how
And
he
then
ended
he
up dropping
tosses them over a bridge.
Them over, yeah. Was that as just like a warning, like I am the composer, watch yourself? But I thought it was really beautiful, the reveal of how all you needed to do was send them the book, and that's what started them. That's what started everyone's imagination to realize, holy shit, like, am I a captive of fate? Am I a captive of what? But the thing freaking mind blowing, right, was the we were talking about earlier.
That just blew my mind
Yeah.
just now.
So the guy, the
The guy who is with Chris.
the main guy, the director guy, in there, he was a broker.
Yeah, he
A
was
broker who lost his license.
he was a little shady at first, and
Very
I never
shady.
really, I don't know. I guess I at some point I just accepted him, but he always had kind of a shady vibe,
Yeah.
and we didn't get to see if he was like. I guess we kind of just figured like he was abducted like Chris.
Yeah.
And I guess he might have been.
No, he was. We saw his picture.
Yeah, he was.
He definitely
But
was
then-
abducted.
But he said like, I'm just gonna tell you the truth because I really like you.
Yeah.
That I'm not a financial advisor. I'm actually this. I steal money.
Yeah.
And that makes it sound like he may have been
involved in stealing the money from all the people.
Oh man, crazy.
Yeah. Except so the whole thing with Shane is I just got this vibe like he was crazy. Like he was just as fucked up as Chris, but on like a mental level. Like I felt like he was living in his own fantasy world almost over there, because just the way that people interacted with him was almost like he wasn't even real. Like he was just a necessity of life, which kind of makes me think even further that maybe he wasn't even a real person, just kind of an agent. That was the idea I was
'cause
toying with.
those other little agents or drones confronted him though, and he fought them.
But did he? Because think about the reactions, it didn't really seem
I didn't
like a
believe.
fight.
I didn't believe.
Was that poor acting?
I
don't think so.
I felt like poor acting, and I just didn't believe a lot of his reactions because a lot of his reactions are really weird.
I don't know.
And like when they meet, that was really weird when they met because I saw them on the train. And I just like he looked a lot like the guy that abducted her at first. But
Yeah,
if
but
we
he wasn't.
rolled back, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
But I don't know. It was just really weird when they met. I just wait, what brought them together? And then they just started hanging out. And I didn't. That might just been like some plot details that just didn't like
Chris and
thrown out
Shane?
easy.
They went on the bus together.
Yeah, but like when they walked over to each other, like he was just looking at her, and then when the next thing we saw, they're having coffee, but they're just talking about like business stuff.
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
He was telling her that he liked her.
No, he's talking. That was the weirdest way to tell someone you liked.
Yeah, no, but
they
I mean,
were talking about like
they're weird people. We've already.
they are weird.
Like, very
they were
weird,
weird.
yeah.
That was
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cute, like when they were, holding each other in the
Yeah.
bathtub. There were some nice
like
scenes.
the middle of the movies, like them like getting together.
The whole thing that happened though with Shane repeating her past like it was his, kind of making me think like the pigs were all one, like they were just the same person in a sense.
Mm.
Or is Shane just kind of crazy, taking all these ideas from Chris and making them his own? Like that part, it doesn't fit in my puzzle.
And at the in the last few
movie.
images, we don't see the Shane character.
No.
Like we see like them go to the pigs, but then we just shows Chris and she gets a
So
pig.
when she shoots the composer guy, do
Yeah.
you think that he was actually Shane? That would make sense with all the flashing scenes, remember? I don't think so, but that'd just make it fun.
It's hard to derive something from a movie like this because there's a lot thrown at you, and
It was pleasant.
I mean, and it's hard to say there was much consistency because what you need, what really helps is like consistency when you have like a motif, and there was a few motifs, but like it was hard to connect them
Yeah.
in correlation with like what was actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
So and there was one too many blurry scenes for me. There's just a bit too much
Yeah.
blurriness.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate what he was able to do with this low budget. There's also like some weird stuff in the beginning. It was weird. Like by the time you get like 3/4 of the movie, the first like 5 or 10 minutes feels so foreign because it's much different. Because you get the first 10 minutes, you don't know what you're looking at, and then you get to Chris, and also you got a constant. But they did connect in full circle a little bit.
Yeah, which was nice. Like plot-wise, they did. But I thought what was really daring and not seen is usually, you see the person, so it's like in the audience mind, I've identified what the subject is. Then they do a pan of the room that the scene's going to take place in. It's like, all right, I know where I'm at. Then boom, the dialogue. But in this film, what would happen is it stays on the face while they go into the scene. You have no idea where they're at. You only see them. That kind of shallow.
Maybe
depth
they
of
don't know where
field
they're at.
thing. That's the question. Is that it? But I mean, it was real jarring as an audience member, yet at the same time really intriguing because it's like, oh shit, I have no idea where I'm at. Like I'm just following this person, like just like this wall in their face, which I thought was interesting and both jarring.
I mean, I liked it because it's just like it's on their face. Like, remember the scene when he's telling her about the whole like what my real job is, As he was telling that to her, it was flipping through like 4 locations, and they're having the same like conversation. Like I'm sure like when they shot that, they just did the whole dialogue, and then in the next location the whole dialogue, and he connected all of them to make it look like it was like all the same conversation, just in different places. That was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of cool.
The editing was beautiful.
It was such great editing.
Like I'm just thinking about the amount of files that he had and what he like made with it. Because all the stuff, it looked like, he just shot it like a normal movie, but then throw it into the editing room and something incredibly different comes out.
Even if I don't get something like this, if I don't understand it, it just amazes me something like this came out of some person's mind.
Yeah.
Like, I think of that, like, with anime, like, Spirited Away. You see all the, like...
It's gorgeous.
And it's a different, like, person from another side of the world, and they just, like, what they can come up with it just takes you out of your zone. Yeah, this movie, though... I don't really know what to say as far as like a message and a theme. It's as far
I think there's a lot, man. Just kind of.
I think there's a lot in there.
Except then we get to this problem of like, oh yes, I found the message, and then it's like you find the message, but then it could be kind of derived from what you're feeling in the current moment, as like what you're thinking about your life, and it's like, oh, I found the message because it's so ambiguous. You can find any message, so this must be the.
But
message.
That can be really nice.
But it can be cool. But sometimes I find a message that I don't necessarily like.
Could be lazy.
Am I just fucking with myself?
It could be lazy, but it's also good to look at it like, I guess, like, they just give you all the pieces, and just make something.
Puzzle.
Which is kind of nice, but, I mean, something as confident as this, I feel like there was a message in there. I mean, I think the strongest motif was the pigs. And they were like pigs, and they're being led, like
But you're right, this was a very confident film.
Well, you kind of have to be with, like, if you're going to go experimental, especially this is, like, this was pretty experimental. Like he had some innovative techniques. Like the rhythm of the movie, it.
What do you think this lies against Eraserhead?
I understood Eraserhead easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eraserhead like.
I guess what I'm asking is that if this movie, do you think this movie is like a classic? Do you think this is something that's gonna redefine a genre? Like, do you think we can give it a 4 now, and then in the future we're like, oh, we should have given this.
I feel like he's gonna come out with another movie that's gonna be a smash.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably like I feel like Primer and this are like the movie. I mean, this movie has gotten a lot of good reception.
86 right now on Rotten Tomatoes.
But like word of mouth is getting pretty good, like on Reddit and like a lot of other places. But
4chan even.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like with what he's doing, he can make with this movie he's getting more attention. The next movie might have a little bit bigger budget, and if he has a bigger budget with like incorporating this kind of like that amazing editing, he can do something with it.
So what are you gonna give it 4?
It's always a hard one because I don't want to give it something higher because like whoa, it's like above me. It went over my head. It's obviously profound. I gotta give it high. It's hard to say.
It's obviously profound.
Obvious. I give Melancholia like 3.5, but like I'm sure if I watch it again, I'll like it more.
But yeah, I mean, this is one viewing. Like, this is what you feel right now.
The acting. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to say about the acting. The dialogue wasn't always that sharp though. That's for sure. Even though things like this, the dialogue is very particular and very very heavy thematically. But this, though, it wasn't that sharp. Yeah, it had a budget, and it did really well for its budget. And the editing was genius. I'm going to give it 4 stars.
I feel comfortable with the 4, yeah.
4 is a really comfortable rating.
Well, no. 4 is out. I feel like 3.5 or 3 is comfortable.
4 feels really comfortable for me. Like, there's just a lot of, like, good movies.
If you get a 4 or 5, though, that's like you must watch. But see, then I don't know if you have to watch this. I feel like, is this a 3.5? It's a 4. I really enjoyed my time watching it.
And that editing was great. And you can derive something from this. It's a interesting time. Gives you like I'm excited to see like this be an influence for future movies.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty great.
Riveting. It's a real riot.
It's a real riot.
So, we're talking about Mud, next half-cast, minicast, half-cast, outscast.
Part 2 of the half-cast? Or?
Part 2 half-cast.
Part 2 half-cast.
Minicast, half-cast.
Mud, starring Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Okay, well I guess we should just have a pee break real quick.
Let's just leave. Thank you for listening to
The Review Locker.